All right, ready to dive deep into the world of YouTube monetization. We're breaking down a how-to video from someone who calls himself Make Money Matt.
Interesting choice.
He claims to have figured out how to make, well, money on YouTube, and he says he's been doing it since he was a teenager.
Sounds promising. So let's see what he has to say.
Does he have the secret formula? Or is this all just hype? Let's find out.
Well, Matt doesn't waste any time. He gets right to it and lays out the two big things you need to have before you can even think about making money. 4,000 watch hours
Oh.
and 1,000 subscribers.
Okay, so like a barrier to entry.
Exactly. Those are the base requirements to even join the YouTube Partner Program.
So you need those just to be eligible to possibly maybe make money.
Right, just to get your foot in the door. It's a gateway, but doesn't guarantee you'll be rolling in cash.
Okay, so I hit those targets, then what? What's next on Matt's roadmap to riches?
Well, he walks viewers through joining the YouTube Partner Program, shows them how to apply through the Earn button in the YouTube Studio.
Sounds straightforward enough.
It is, pretty much. But he also stresses that you really need to read those terms and conditions for the program.
Ah, yes, the fine print.
Exactly. You've got to understand the rules of the game, content restrictions and things like that.
So you don't get caught off guard later.
Exactly, because those rules can really impact how much you earn.
All right, so let's say I've hit those magic numbers, I've joined the partner program, and I've read all the fine print. What's next in this YouTube get-rich-quick scheme?
Okay, so then Matt gets into how you actually get paid, which means you need a Google AdSense account.
Makes sense.
He even mentions that you could use the same Gmail account for both YouTube and AdSense, so that's kind of convenient.
Streamlining the process.
Yeah, and it's worth pointing out that AdSense isn't just for YouTube. Website owners use it to make money from their websites, too.
Interesting. So it's like the money pipeline for a lot of online stuff.
Exactly.
So I'm in the partner program. AdSense is linked. Time to watch the money roll in.
Well, hold on. There's a review process.
Oh, right, of course.
Matt says it usually takes less than a month.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Sometimes it can be as quick as a couple of days.
So you could be up and running pretty quickly.
Potentially, but, it's always good to be prepared for it to take a bit longer. Best to focus on making good content while you wait.
Okay, so patience is key. But let's say I've made it through the review process. What's the next big step?
Now it's time for the fun part. Enabling ads on your videos.
Ah, yes, the ads.
Matt explains all the different types of ads. Pre-roll, mid-roll, post-roll. He even suggests enabling ads on all your videos using that bulk edit feature.
Interesting. So he's all about maximizing ad revenue.
Seems that way. But you have to wonder, would viewers get annoyed by that many ads? Is he maybe sacrificing the viewer experience for a bigger paycheck?
That's a good question. It's a tough balance, right? You don't want to annoy the people who are watching your videos.
Exactly. You need to find that sweet spot.
For sure. So speaking of ads, what does Matt say about where to put them in your videos?
Well, he goes into a lot of detail about mid-roll ads, the ones that pop up in the middle of your video. He suggests putting them in videos that are longer than 8 minutes.
Oh, wow. So longer videos only.
Yeah, and he says you should space them out about every 2 minutes.
Wow, that seems like a lot. Does he explain why?
Well, he doesn't go into a ton of detail, but it seems like he's really trying to understand how viewers behave and how much they'll tolerate before getting annoyed.
So he's got a strategy, for sure.
Definitely. He also has a tip for saving time. He recommends setting your upload defaults to enable monetization automatically on all new videos.
Oh, that's handy. So you don't have to do it manually every time.
Exactly. But I think it's important to remember that you should still double-check your settings, just in case.
Good point. You don't want to accidentally run ads on the wrong type of video.
Exactly.
Okay, so ads are running, views are coming in. When do you actually see the money, according to Matt?
Well, he talks about the AdSense payout threshold, which is $100.
Okay, so you have to earn at least $100 before they pay you.
Right. And he actually admits that he was a bit confused by it at first because he saw some earnings in his AdSense dashboard but didn't get paid right away.
So even Make Money Matt gets confused sometimes.
It happens. I think it's important to understand the difference between estimated earnings and actual payouts.
Yeah, that makes sense. But speaking of AdSense, Matt does something pretty surprising. He shows his AdSense dashboard for a second, and guess what?
What?
It shows a zero balance.
Really?
Yep, $0.
That's interesting. I wonder what that's all about.
We'll have to figure that out.
Well, there could be a few reasons for that zero balance.
Like what?
Maybe it's just a timing thing. Like maybe the reporting cycle ended right before he made the video.
So the earnings just haven't been added yet.
Right. Or maybe his earnings are actually coming from other AdSense products.
Oh, like from ads on a website.
Exactly. So it might not all show up in the same place.
It just goes to show that AdSense can be a bit complicated.
It definitely has its quirks.
You really have to dig in and understand how it all works.
For sure. And I think this whole thing with Matt's video highlights something pretty important.
What's that?
He seems to be focusing a lot on the technical stuff, like setting up AdSense and getting into the partner program.
Right. He lays it all out pretty clearly.
He does. But he kind of glosses over one crucial element.
Which is?
The content itself.
Ah, yes, the actual videos.
Exactly. He talks about getting views, but he doesn't really get into how to actually create content that people want to watch.
It's like he's giving you the ingredients for a cake, but forgetting to tell you how to bake it.
Exactly. You need more than just the technical stuff. You need to know how to build an audience.
And keep them engaged.
Right. Because without an audience, those ads aren't going to make you any money.
It's all connected. So what's the big takeaway here for people who are just starting out?
I think the most important thing to remember is that YouTube monetization isn't just about ticking boxes and flipping switches.
It's more than that.
It's about understanding the technical side, sure, but it's also about understanding your audience and creating content they'll love.
So it's a combination of things.
Exactly. You need a good strategy, you need to know how the platform works, and you need to know how to connect with people.
Matt seems to be focusing more on the quick wins.
I think so, but there's a lot more to it than that. It's not just about slapping on ads and calling it a day.
You really need to put in the work.
You do. You need to create great content and find ways to make money from it without ruining the experience for your viewers.
Finding that balance is key.
Absolutely. And something else to keep in mind is that YouTube is always changing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
New features, new policies, new best practices. It's a constantly evolving landscape.
So you have to stay adaptable.
Exactly. You can't just learn the rules once and expect them to stay the same forever.
You have to be willing to learn and change as you go.
And that's where critical thinking comes in. We can't just blindly accept everything we hear, even from people who seem like experts.
Like Matt?
Yeah, like Matt. We need to think for ourselves, question things, and make our own decisions.
It's like that moment in his video when he was surprised by the AdSense payout threshold.
Right. And then there's the whole mystery of his zero balance.
Makes you wonder if he's really telling the whole story.
It does. And I think it's a good reminder that we should always be digging deeper, looking for more information, and forming our own opinions.
We can't just take things at face value.
Cool.
So what are some questions that creators should be asking themselves as they go through this whole process?
I think the biggest question is, what's the bigger picture here?
What do you mean?
How do all these individual pieces fit together?
Like the technical stuff, the audience, the policies, the content itself.
Exactly. How does it all work together to create a monetization strategy that actually works?
And a strategy that feels good too.
Right. Something that's sustainable, ethical, and authentic.
Oh, so it's not just about the money.
It's about creating something you're proud of, something that connects with people, something that adds value to the world.
While still being able to pay the bills.
Exactly. It's about finding that sweet spot where everyone wins.
It's a lot to think about.
It is. But I think deep dives like this can help us sort through it all.
They give us a chance to really analyze the information and make better decisions.
Exactly. And speaking of Matt's video, even though it might be missing some key details, he does offer some practical tips that people can use.
Like that idea about setting up upload defaults to automatically enable monetization.
Right. It's a good way to save time, but it's important to remember that automation shouldn't replace human oversight entirely.
Always double check your settings.
Always. And I also thought his focus on optimizing mid-roll ads was interesting.
Even if it seemed a bit aggressive.
Yeah, even if you don't agree with his exact approach, it's a good reminder that ad placement matters.
You have to think about how it affects your viewers.
Exactly. And I think that's a valuable lesson to take away, even if you don't agree with everything Matt says.
It's all about learning and adapting, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Finding what works best for you and your audience.
It's a journey. So as we wrap up this deep dive, are there any areas you think are worth exploring further?
Yeah, definitely. I think we should talk more about the ethics of all this.
The ethics of YouTube monetization.
Right, like we touched on balancing making money with keeping your viewers happy, but there's also the whole issue of transparency.
Being upfront about how you're making money.
Exactly, and being authentic, especially when it comes to sponsored content.
Like those videos where YouTubers are promoting a product.
Right. Viewers are getting savvier. They want to know if you're genuinely recommending something or if you're getting paid to say nice things.
Like that moment in Matt's video where he showed his AdSense dashboard.
Yeah, with the zero balance.
It made me wonder if he was being totally honest about his earnings.
And it's not just about how much you're making. It's about being upfront about sponsored videos, affiliate links, anything like that.
So viewers can make informed decisions.
Exactly. It all boils down to building trust with your audience.
So how do you do that?
Be honest about why you're creating content. Make sure it aligns with what you believe in.
So people can connect with you on a deeper level.
Right. That's how you build a loyal following. So to sum it all up, what's the next step for someone who wants to monetize their YouTube channel the right way?
In a way that feels good and is sustainable in the long run.
It all starts with education. Really understand the different ways you can make money. Learn the rules of the game. And think about the ethical implications of your choices.
Don't just jump in blindly.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to try different things, see what works, what doesn't. It's a process.
There's no one-size-fits-all solution.
Right. And connect with other creators. Learn from their experiences. The YouTube community is a great resource.
Get advice, share your struggles, celebrate your wins.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, remember to focus on making content you're passionate about.
Content that you're proud to share with the world.
Right. Monetization is important, but it shouldn't be the only thing that drives you.
It's about more than just the money. It's about creating something meaningful.
Exactly.
Well said. I think that's a great place to wrap things up. To all the aspiring YouTubers out there, keep learning, keep creating, keep connecting.
And never stop asking questions.
And if you ever need us to take a deep dive into another topic, you know where to find us.
Happy creating, everyone!